but he died when I was a kid. My mom too. And I ended up here. Sitting here in my tiny corner of nowhere. There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere. Except the oasis. A whole virtual universe. People come to the oasis for all the things they can do. But they stay because of all the things they can be.
Can you feel this?
Yeah. It's the only place that feels like I mean anything. The Oasis was the brainchild of James Halliday.
Hello. If you're watching this, I'm dead. I created a hidden object, an Easter egg. The first person to find the egg will inherit $500 billion and total control of the Oasis itself.
Who is this Parzival, and how the hell is he winning?
Find him.
This isn't just a game. I'm talking about actual life and death stuff.
The Oasis, the world's most important economic resource.
It's nothing less than a war for control of the future.
Welcome to the rebellion, Wade.
Like many of you, I only came here to escape. But I found something much bigger than just myself. Are you willing to fight?
Help us save the Oasis.
Hello, and welcome back from our commercial break. That was Ready Player One. A lot of you by now have probably seen that movie. It's a great movie. And let's be honest, from what a lot of people have probably been getting from that movie is that's possibly where the future of gaming is going. VR technology has surpassed anyone's expectations of where it could be at this point in time for especially the price point that some of these companies are offering, some of these products are at. I mean, it's phenomenal what you can achieve in VR nowadays. The way I like to word it is, it's almost transcended gaming for gamers. It's the way Christopher Nolan's Batman series is to superhero movies, where you no longer have to give the disclaimer, it's good for a superhero movie. It's just a good movie, folks. And this is just great fun. It's not fun for a gamer. It's fun for everyone. You can hand it off to your relatives, parents, friends. Everyone's going to have a blast with VR. There's something for everyone. And the nice thing is we're coming at a really good time. Oculus 2 right now is being offered by Facebook and seemingly wanting to be placed in the hands of virtually every household in the world. The price point for this system is so incredible for what it offers, in my opinion, that realistically, everyone in the future is probably going to have their hands on a VR system. And moving to the end of this discussion, you'll probably realize why that's going to be a reason why a lot of companies are going to put a VR system in your hands too. So we're going to start off with two different types of VR systems for today, okay? The way I like to word them is you've got a standalone VR system. That is, for an example, like your Oculus Quest, okay, or Oculus Quest 2, like I have. What that means is this system can run by itself. You don't need to pair it to a computer. There doesn't need to be any cables running to a computer or anything like that. So if you have a gaming PC or you don't have a gaming PC, you can run an Oculus Quest system, 1 or 2, as a standalone VR system. The nice thing with it is you can pair it to your computer. The second option is a tethered VR system. Generally, they are going to get better frames per second, better resolution. The reason being is because generally your computer is going to be pushing the hardware in the headset. So it's not going to have to work as hard to actually utilize all the technology and everything in the headset. It's essentially just a screen at that point where all your computing is being done by the computer. So you have two different options. Generally, the PC tethered VR systems are going to be a little bit more expensive. The Valve Index is probably where you'd want to be for a tethered system right now. Though, when you're talking about the difference between the two different systems, you're looking at two very different price points, and that's what I'm saying. Facebook is offering the Oculus and Oculus 2 right now for, I believe it is $4.59 Canadian. Yeah. So you can get into a VR system right now for less than you can an Xbox or a PlayStation. And I will be honest, for a lot of people, this would probably be a better investment than an Xbox or a PlayStation. It's going to get you up off the couch. It's going to offer you probably better programming in terms of exploration. If you want to, say, scale a mountain, go fishing out in a river or something like that. The nice thing with the VR sets nowadays too is most of them are running high enough refresh rates where you don't have to worry about motion sickness after you've kind of gotten used to the VR systems. Regarding the tethered system, the Valve Index, it starts at $1,300. So over double the price. And not to mention too, don't forget folks, you have to have a gaming PC to run this system too. So on top of the $1,300 price tag, you're probably realistically nowadays looking at $1,000 plus for a, I believe starting point is generally around a 1070 or a 1660 Super for running a VR headset. So you're probably looking at about $1,000 plus on top of the price of the headset if you want to be running a tethered headset. I will admit they are, from what I've heard from the research, they are a little bit superior in terms of hand tracking. The Valve Index does have full hand motion capture, so with the controllers it will actually recognize each individual finger as essentially its own controller. So you can actually pick things up or use buttons individually with your fingers, which is really nice. But at over double the price for the VR set, plus the price of the computer, a lot of it comes down to how many games is going to be offered with as well, right? In my opinion, it's not worth the extra cost. You can go with it, but it's not worth it in a lot of cases. The Oculus is more than sufficient for most people. The nice thing is again, you don't have to have it tethered. I take mine over to, or I suppose before most of the lockdowns and stuff, but I took mine over to my friends' houses and stuff like that. And the nice thing is you don't have to have a gaming PC wherever you end up. That's a big selling feature for a lot of people, not having to invest in a gaming PC alongside the VR set. Alongside that as well, it's a really neat time to come into VR gaming because a nice segue from our commercial today was Ready Player One, where they have omnidirectional treadmills, just like Catwalk C offers for $1,500, right? Quick little video here just to show you the possibilities. So this seems to be
Presenting Catwalk C, your first personal VR treadmill. Catwalk C is a groundbreaking virtual reality ODT customized entirely.
So that seems to be the first version of it. That's the first one I heard about. Now this one is set to release, I believe, quarter one of 2021. And in my opinion, this one is probably where you would want to be for your VR system, because this one, and we'll get into it as well, actually includes, if I'm not mistaken, the haptic vest, which again was covered in Ready Player One. Essentially, it's a vest that allows you to actually know what your characters are doing in game, which is a big factor for a lot of people. The idea with virtual reality is the more you can immerse yourself in the experience, obviously the better the experience. By adding in headphones, by adding in a vest, by adding in the ability to be able to walk and control where your character goes, it's transcending the bridge between real life and gaming, where essentially your body is now the controller. Kinect tried to do this a few years ago. They did, a commendable job with what they were working with at the time, but when you're working with VR systems the way you're working with them now, there's nothing comparable with, an Oculus system, or even the PlayStation VR, which is a great system as well. But again, you need a PlayStation to be able to run that. That's why I always suggest an Oculus. Do the research. They're a great system. If you ever need, any advice or just want some questions answered, ask me too. I know all about them. I can get you going on any information you might want to know about the VR sets, but this is the Omni one directional treadmill. And in my opinion, this is probably where the future of VR gaming is going to go. It's small enough where you can put it in most houses, apartments, bedrooms, not take up a whole lot of room. It folds down to go under the bed, if I'm not mistaken. And the addition of the haptic vest as well included is a really big thing for most people. Now, on top of that, as I was just mentioning, and we'll segue into, there is also haptic vests now too, where what these are is it's a vest you would put on. The Wooger system is based off of, I believe, subwoofers and different speakers based in the vest, strategically placed to mimic different forms of attack, damage or whatnot that you would take in virtual reality games. Really interesting system, but again, this is your entry level, okay? Then you get into we're gonna just do a quick Google search here. Be haptic. And this is, in my opinion, the future of VR. This is essentially almost what Ready Player One was offering. This is full coiled support around your body. So when you are constricted in a game, you will feel constriction. There is, I forget how many sensors there were. I'm not going to get into all the technical stuff about this haptic vest. Again, you can do your own research about it. I just want to more or less bring you into the light of it. But this haptic vest has something like 50, 60 plus different sensors placed among the front and back of the vest to enhance the feeling of your VR experience. Also, with add-ons, you can also get a head halo to mimic head reactions. You can get hands, legs, and I believe arm haptics as well. So essentially almost a full suit again, just like in Ready Player One. So we are getting to that point now. The only thing that's lacking essentially is the programming and graphics really at this point. This one, unfortunately, I was not able to find a price on. The Wooger system starts at $349 on sale right now, which for a wearable speaker is very expensive, I will admit. So I would probably wait to see the pricing on this one because it says it's releasing November to December 9th, and their pre-orders are already spoken for. So it's already pre-sold out before release. I mean, this year with tech technology, it's not surprising that something like this would be sold out. There's a lot more people at home utilizing this technology right now, but if you're going to jump into this and you're willing to spend the money, I would probably wait it out for one of these B haptic suits over the Wooger system. Again, I'll do a little bit more research into it, but this seems to be probably the pinnacle of where haptic suits are going to be. Something I wanted to cover really quick, actually, just at the end of our just at the end of our little news broadcast here, just because I was mentioning how essentially I believe that by the end of probably, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say by the end of 2023, if you're an office worker working from home, there's probably going to be a very large push for having a VR headset in your house. And why I say that is because Oculus and Facebook essentially nowadays, has paired up, and they are trying to create a virtual office space for the computer, which is probably one of the most impressive virtual offices you will come across. I'll show you very quickly the virtual office because I did kind of figure out how to stream my VR headset to the computer. So I'll show you my speculation of where your office is probably going to be located in, say, I would say around 2 to 3 years. Now, bear with me here, folks. I just have to log in here really quick. So what I'm going to be showing you is the Oculus office. Okay? And in this office, you have the ability to be able to draw on whiteboards, utilize and pull out any of the documents from your computer system and essentially put them on a mobile projector screen, thereby kind of eliminating the need for individual projectors. The nice thing with this too is I worked for a company before, and we did bi-weekly and monthly meetings, and this would have been really nice because you could essentially do remote meetings with everyone in a central meeting area, which would be really useful because we were actually route drivers. So this would be really practical for that, because if you ever had someone that essentially was on the road that wasn't able to be paired in or able to actually physically make it into the meeting, you could then have them sign into their Oculus headset, and then they would be able to actually sign into the virtual office, and everyone would be able to see the slides, the presentation that's being offered by the person performing the presentation. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. I'm trying to bring up my casting here. Sorry, I apologize, folks. Okay, so this is the program here, Spatial, okay? So this is going to be your virtual office space in the future, in my opinion. I'll try and get this up quick for you guys here. Let's see if this... I might have to make a separate video on this by itself, to be honest, folks, just because this is relatively new. I'm still getting all the bugs worked out with screening VR. Okay, I think we're ready to go here. Let's try this again. Come on, work for me here, folks. Come on. I apologize immensely for this, folks. There we go. Okay, finally. All right. Sorry for that long-awaited approach there, everyone. Okay, so now we are in spatial, okay? We'll go to intro, just because that's probably going to be one of the easiest things to deal with. And of course, there we go. Okay. So this is just the intro area. I'll show you really quick. Again, most of you in an office setting is probably going to be introduced to this very shortly. So there is my avatar, okay? Acts just as a window, so if I was to be able to, you know, if I was worried about what my avatar looked like to the other people in the office, that is essentially what my avatar would look like to everyone standing in the virtual office right now around me, okay? This here is essentially your whiteboard, okay? So you'd be able to select different words or whatnot. I'm not going to play around with this too much right now, folks, but you can essentially play around with the different wording at the top there and then use this as your whiteboard, okay? You can invite your teammates here. You can have a mobile office already set up, so if in which case your mobile office goes live, it would alert all your teammates of this and invite them into your mobile office here, okay? Over here is essentially learning how the menu system works. So again, you can bring up with this little system here. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. With this here, you can bring up, again, a little notepad. And what you can do is you can actually just write out notes to everyone in the office, right? And if you notice, like, it's essentially letting me know that they would go up on that whiteboard off to the right there. But this is just a quick, demonstration of how things work. You can erase the whiteboard, things like that, right? I mean, you can draw pictures in case you need to do a quick diagram for your office or whatnot about what's going on, different things like that, right? Then the nice thing with over here is behind you, you would have okay, done. That's the thing. I'm still learning the controls here, folks. I do apologize. So what this is behind us is your 3D model system that, again, you would be able to pull up different files from your computer system. And again, you'd actually be able to play around with different points of the car, dissect the car, show different 3D models to your office that you might need to demonstrate to the different people that you're running your presentation to, which I think is really practical. And again, you can screen share this screen right in front of us now is a screen share option. So in case you do want to run PowerPoint from your from your home computer, you can run a PowerPoint presentation on the presentation board over here. And then again, you've got other options and other spaces that you can visit with other mobile offices as well, which is really practical. So if you go to your spaces, yeah, so there's essentially different rooms you would create, right? So this would be potentially your brainstorming room. So you would invite people in here just to kind of relax, maybe, brainstorm different ideas of where you want your future meetings to go. Again, you're going to get a couple different whiteboards, some text boards and stuff like that as an option to be able to write on to explain to different people. I'm sure there's different pie graphs you can play around with. It's essentially programmed like an internal office with all your presentation material right at your fingertips, like quite literally. Like, I'm using the controllers right now, but if I'm not mistaken, you can turn on hand controls, so I could just hand gesture most of the things I'm doing right now and pick them up with just my bare hands, so you wouldn't need the controllers as well. But I think the controllers would probably be easier for most presentations. But I thought I'd figure, I'm so excited with this program that I just figured this out. I'm getting ahead of myself. But as I was saying, that is my speculation on where offices are going to be in the near future. With everyone working remotely from home and everything like that, it only makes sense in a lot of cases with everyone working from home that you would be able to actually utilize all your computer, you know, I'm trying to find the wording here. You would be able to utilize everything that you have at home and be able to present it at work remotely, which is a huge feature for a lot of people nowadays, because I'm sure a lot of people are finding it hard to do presentations without knowing how to do screen mirroring and everything like that with your casting programs, right? And again, if anyone wants help with anything I've done here, covered information on Spatial itself, let me know. Hit me up. I'm always available for questions and everything like that. I'm always happy to help out. You know, always interested in helping and everything like that too, making sure that everyone has the best information they can have possible. I mean, that's what everything is about here, is helping people out, right? Keeping people healed up, you know, mentally, in game, out of game. It's just good. Well, thank you so much everyone for tuning in again this week. This one, I apologize, was a little bit frazzled. Had some troubles at the last minute trying to get some material together for this presentation here. So I hope everyone bears with me for the next presentation, which comes on Friday, I believe at 8 p.m. And if there are any future questions about any of the material we've covered today or anything like that, by all means, hit me up. I'm available on all forms of social media at Heels on You. I love answering questions. I love just, you know, having the back and forth with different people about what their opinions are about certain technology, you know, essentially different things like that, right? You know, just kind of seeing where people's heads are with what's going on in the world right now, right? I mean, you never know what people are thinking. I mean, yeah, I don't know. So by all means, come in, drop in, have a discussion. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night. Stay healed up.